Hello and welcome on Primetime Watchmaking in the News, covering what happened on the watchmaking planet in June till today. And there are, of course, a few exciting stories, but one has to acknowledge that the biggest news by far is the following. Yes, we made it and finally crossed this fantastic number of 100,000 people from all over the world subscribed to this channel. And I know it's only a number, but damn if it feels good. And the crazy part is that it seriously happened on my very own birthday. So how cool is that? Anyhow, myself and the small team of The Watchers TV do feel immensely proud of having crossed this milestone. Took a while, but we know that we talk about rather niche things on this channel, so 100K represents something sincerely spectacular for us. And this is all thanks to you. So a massive Viva you for all your support, continuous interaction, good vibe and energy, and as promised, we still have many interesting stories to share with you. And yes, we will make this party on the 12th of September here in Geneva, here at the Watchers Club. There are already quite a few of you guys who are coming, and I think this is going to be a mighty party. Link below to our website if you want to join in. Would be super nice to have you with us for this little private bonding moment, a watchmaking moment with some passionate people and some pretty interesting special guests, a simple and nice family reunion. Okay, so enough of this and let's talk watches and watchmaking at large, and we'll start with a rather crazy story because I guess you are all aware of the fire that ravaged Paris Notre Dame Cathedral a couple of months ago. Well, among the casualties, if I can say so, the tower clock simply melted away, and contrary to the rest of the cathedral, which had been pretty scrupulously digitized, well, no archive existed regarding this tower clock apart from a few pictures. Well, a French watchmaker, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Villot, was recently performing some kind of art inventory in another Parisian church, and among all the artifacts he was going through, he found at the very back of a small attic room an almost exact body double of this Notre Dame clock. So it comes from the same watchmaker, Collin, built in the exact same year, 1867, same workshop and so forth. So there are apparently a few differences between the two, but this newfound mechanism will serve as the base reference to the reconstruction of the one that should go back in the cathedral, just like this pretty inspiring story. But regarding new watches released recently, well, I have to say nothing too exciting apart from the very recent announcements of watches participating in the Only Watch charity auction. And there are some pretty sweet stuff like always, but I will come back on this in a very short while. So this month we did show you the new MB&F HM7 Platinum Red in our unboxing series. But I'm taking this opportunity for a little mea culpa, since I mentioned it was a final edition, but actually maybe not. There could be other versions of this HM7 coming. Nothing decided yet, just wanted to clarify this with you guys. So other new watch with Tag Heuer, who introduced the second round of its commemorative Monaco watch for the 50th anniversary of this iconic square watch. If you recall, this means that the brand celebrates each decade, and this time we are in the 80s with the 1979-1989 model. So this watch is limited to 169 pieces. It has a red sunray dial with two curved-edged rhodium-plated subdials, comes with a modern version of the Heuer Caliber 11. And since I only mentioned Heuer, well, this is the only name you will find on either the dial or case back side of the watch. Vacheron Constantin introduced a one-off watch made for one of their ambassadors, photographer and mountain climber Corey Richards. And since I was invited by the brand to assist a very enjoyable New York event with this very inspiring person, well, we will come back on this in the soon-to-be-published video report, but the thing interesting to note is that one doesn't really associate Vacheron Constantin with the world of extreme sports and activities, so we will try to dig a bit more on this. HYT introduced a new version of its H0, so really capitalizing on a proven yet original mechanical and design concept. So this watch is called the Su Now, and though we've seen so many skulls in recent history, well, here the take is a little bit different, with the skull appearing thanks to 300 gold pins inserted in a titanium plate. You only have hour indication on this watch, and you just have to guesstimate the minute between the hour numerals added around the skull-shaped capillary. There are two versions, a blue and a green one. 25 pieces of each will be made. Okay, let's now talk about the pretty cool releases just unveiled for the 2019 edition of Only Watch. As a quick reminder, this is the 8th edition of this charitable auction, raising money for research regarding the Duchenne muscular dystrophy illness. and takes place every 2 years. So over the years, it has become a very serious playground for many brands that come up with unique pieces. Some brands going kind of all in with very distinctive watches, some others making their lives just a bit easier with small variations. But nevertheless, I mean, all brands participating should be sincerely thanked, since every single one donate a watch, and we've seen some lots going for some pretty crazy sums of money. Collectors like it too. Yes, we are talking unique pieces, always a turn on for many. So we are talking 50 brands ranging from the entire spectrum of the watchmaking ecosystem, from power names to very niche independent watchmakers. So you have like Audemars Piguet, Breguet, Blancpain, Bovet, Hublot, Richard Mille, MB&F, Patek Philippe, Tudor, Moritz Grossman, Konstantin Chaikin, Ulysse Nardin, Zenith, Armstrong, Ferdinand Berthoud, Hermes, Jacob & Co, and Sven Anderson. So I didn't mention everyone, but the list is pretty impressive and has almost become a must since quite a lot of attention will be put on these watches. So the selection has just been announced, like I mentioned. We have not too much material yet to illustrate these watches, but good to know that they will go on some kind of a world tour. So Monaco, Dubai, Paris, London, New York, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taipei, and finally Geneva, just days before the actual auction that will take place on Saturday, the 9th of November here in Geneva, and hosted by Christie's, partner of the event. And when I'm talking about commitment by the brands, well, figure out that Patek Philippe has produced the one and only steel version of the Grandmaster chime with a really sexy salmon dial. So this timepiece is the most complex Patek and was introduced for the 175th anniversary of the brand back in 2014. Only 7 were made, and in 2016 Patek came out with a new model, slightly less baroque, and this white gold version goes for 2.2 million US retail price. So you can imagine what this unique steel one will go for. It will most probably reach, skyrocket prices, but all for a good cause. Quite generous from Patek to offer such a timepiece. And I quite like this little, the only one found on the dial side. It's an amusing touch, and respect to them. Some other significant watches presented included the FP Journe Astronomique Blue, and going by the comments I heard and witnessed regarding this watch, well, I can only say that this one will also be seriously appreciated by collectors during the bidding process. FP Journe watches have often gotten very impressive results during the Only Watch auction, and again it is because there is a real commitment made by the brand, coming with a true uniqueness and special developments that we might see later in watches, of course. And the timepiece presented this year goes the extra mile, I have to say. So I could seriously spend an entire video on it, totally deserves it. But to make it pretty short, you have a 24-hour sidereal time indicator on the left sub-dial found at 9 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, you have another hour in dial, this time with 2 hands, meaning that you can display 2 time zones and a big central minute hand. You have a small deadbeat second indicator found opposite of the moon phase indicator, a power reserve indicator at 6 o'clock, and a super cool and interesting day-night and sunrise-sunset indicator at 12 o'clock. So for this last indication, you have a slider mechanism that adapts the length of each day. And in between this, you will find the day-night indicator trailing between these 2 marks. I mean, it's really fascinating, but it doesn't stop there, because once you flip the watch over, still some surprises there, not only nice aesthetics, of course, but some further technical feat with an equation of time, an annual calendar, and yes, it's a tourbillon. So just spectacular. Can't wait to see this timepiece in real. And the color combination is also quite fantastic. Good job there by FP Journe. Hats off on this one. There are, of course, some other watches worth talking about, but I will leave this on the side, as I hope to be able to pull some kind of special video report on all these watches. So till then, and for any further info, such as dates of the various exhibitions, I clearly invite you to check the website of Only Watch. Very simple, onlywatch.com. And talking about auctions, well, just wanted to add that following George Daniels' personal timepiece put on auction by Philips Bax & Russo earlier this year, a timepiece which already fetched an impressive price tag, well, a second timepiece of the famous English watchmaker, the Space Traveller 1, was just sold by Sotheby's in London, and this one broke the record for any independent watchmaker at approximately $4.5 million, making it actually, for the time being, the highest paid timepiece of 2019. Impressive result. Maybe that Patek at Only Watch, might beat that, maybe. Okay, and now for some quick additional business news. As we've heard that LVMH brands, which were on the verge of leaving Baselworld but ultimately remain, well, they've just announced that they will nevertheless still do something of their own in January in Dubai. And makes sense for them. They have the infrastructure to do this since it will happen at the fancy Bulgari Hotel, and will naturally regroup all LVMH brands. One of the reasons invoked was that Basel will take place a bit late, and by this I mean in January, and it will enable them to introduce new pieces early in the season when not much else is supposed to happen at the same time. So pragmatic and smart decision for them. And just as a side note, Mr. Bernard Arnault, main shareholder of the LVMH group, has just rejoined the club of ultra-billionaires having an estimated net worth above the $100 billion mark. So not bad, and we're very happy for him. 100 billion for some, 100,000 subscribers for the others, and feel just as good. But regarding LVMH, you have to remember that the entire turnover of the watchmaking activity represents in fact a rather small portion of the overall turnover of the group, much less than 10% actually, including turnover of Bulgari, which sells much more jewelry than watches. So anyhow, this is it for this rather short edition of Prime Time, and despite being the summer, we still do have some cool reports coming your way. But the next Prime Time will be published in very early September. So please remember that we will have a Viva Watchmaking party in Geneva on the 12th of September. You can express your desire of joining us on our website. There is a form there. Some of you have already done so, and we are very appreciative. And we will take good care of you if you need any further assistance. So since we have your email, we will send you details of the program, but we will of course try to combine some nice watchmaking experience at the same time for you guys. And yes, the main reason for this Horologicals Fiesta is of course to celebrate this 100k subscriber. And maybe you don't know this, but when you reach such a number, you actually get a small but much appreciated distinction by YouTube, a magic play button. So can't wait to receive this, hopefully by the party. Until then, well, I will practice with this cardboard version. Hallelujah! Anyhow, thanks again for everything. Thanks so much to our patrons. See you real soon. And a Viva huge, damn it, almost there. And a huge Viva Watchmaking to you. All the best. See you soon.